Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Identity Shift. And I am your girl, your host, Tia Upshaw. And today we have with us is Navi, also known as Navdeep Parmanand. Yes, I said it right. And I do apologize for anybody if that offended you if I couldn't say it right, but my tongue is always tied, trust me. Welcome, Navi. How are you doing today?
I am very excited to be here.
Good.
Thank you.
And I love the blazer. You guys know I love a good blazer. I never seen that color before, ever. But it does match my skirt today. Now, where did you get your blazer really quickly?
It's my own brand.
And you wouldn't give me the ins before you came and said, Tia, here's a link. Purchase this very quick.
So sorry.
Is it really?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to jump into that anyway shortly.
Sounds
Like, I
good.
love it. It fits well on you. The cut is nice. It looks really, really good, Navi.
Thank you.
Wow. I'm kind of jealous. First and foremost, let our listeners and viewers know who is Navi. Like, who are you? What do you do? What sets you aside from everybody else? Like, who is Navi?
That's a very deep question for a beginning. Yeah. Navi is a very kind soul.
Mm-hmm.
She is very hard on herself.
Been there.
She celebrates everybody except
Yeah.
herself. And I'm learning to celebrate
It's
myself.
hard,
But
though.
it's hard.
It's hard.
She's her parents' only child after her brother passed away, and she is the responsible for taking care of her family. Um, who else is Navi? Navi is full of ambitions.
Mm-hmm.
Navi doesn't think that sky is the limit. Navi thinks beyond that,
Good.
and Navi does have imposter syndrome, like everybody else.
Oh, there's always a
But
part of us that has that. So don't worry, girl. Don't worry.
yes, but for most part of it, Navi doesn't know to give up. She doesn't have that in her dictionary to give up,
Ever.
ever. Take a break.
You can
Take a
take a
day.
break, take a day, go for a nap, have a cry. I don't care.
5 minutes of
But it's
crying.
not in the journey to give up.
Nope. Jump back in. You got to take a break. 7 months. That was the longest time I've taken a break. And healing my own self from the things that happened that were not my fault, because we are responsible for our
Yes.
own journey.
Yeah.
But jump back in. You got to do it.
I love that. I love that. I kind of in the same alignment with you. I can take a break. I can take a nap. I can cry. I can scream. I can be mad. All that stuff. But there will never be a point where I'm throwing in the white flag or I'm giving up.
Nope.
No, it's not in our dictionary. I love that. It's not
Yes.
in our dictionary. The word
Yep.
is not there.
Yep. It's not there. Never to be found.
Oh, I love it. I mean, even though I asked that big question at the beginning, you were able to answer that really, really well.
Oh,
So I think like for people who are listening or viewing are going to be like, I can say I know who Navi is now. Like, you did explain yourself really, really well. So I appreciate that. What is your story on immigrating here to Canada? Like, I can't even believe that I thought you like been here since you were a baby. Like,
one would say
literally.
so, but no.
Like, you would literally think it when I met you at the networking event. Everything about you was just, this girl's been here. She probably grew up in a community down the street from me. But it wasn't the case. So
Yep.
what year did you immigrate here?
In 2016, as an international student at the age of 19.
Oh my goodness, how old are you now?
I'm 28.
You don't even look 28, girl.
Do I look younger?
Yes. Oh, oh.
Thank you.
So when you came, what did you take in school?
Early childhood education. I had diploma in India. That was diploma in special education. So I learned Indian Sign Language, psychology, speech therapy, audiology, all the fun stuff. And then here,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
My daughter, my youngest one, in the last probably 2 years, she's been working a lot with youth and children, and usually it's in the line of the special needs ones, and she loves it, right? And she's going in post secondary actually next week, and I said to her, "You really should look at early childhood education because that's where you've been working and you love it." And she was like, "No, no, no," because she's at that age where whatever's trending, whatever everybody else says you should go to school for, she's kind of following. And I gotta make sure she watches this afterwards because, well, first and foremost, your transition here. What school did you go to?
Canadore College in Ontario.
Oh, so you went, oh, you should have just came right to Nova Scotia from the beginning, girl.
I know.
You should have just came here from the beginning, but I do love Ontario. I lived there for a while, and sometimes I say if I could go back, I would, but it's too expensive. Too expensive, too expensive.
Too much traffic too.
Halifax is getting just as bad. Let's be real.
I know.
I went somewhere the other day and it took me an hour to get to the location, and it used like 4 years ago it would have took me 10 minutes. So I'm not going to complain about that. With your transition here, how was the transition? Was it easy? Was it like, I don't want to be here, I want to go back to India, which I heard is very beautiful. There's a couple of students here at the St. Mary's Entrepreneurship Center that I talk to often, and they're always talking about India, and I'm like, can I go there one day? They're like, T, it's hot. It's really hot. I said, well, I go to Jamaica. They're like, no, it's hotter than Jamaica. For you, that number one, the culture is different. Number two, the weather coming to Canada.
I would take you in the month of January and February. We will go.
Because it's not as hot?
No, it's very chilly that time. I went this year. It was really good. Really good time.
Oh,
Yeah, so the transition, to be honest, I literally think of myself as a child when I came here.
mm-hmm.
And
You were a
then
baby, 18.
19.
19, sorry.
Yeah.
That is, yes, very
Yes.
young.
And you mentioned that did you ever wanted to go back? Yes, I wanted to go back, but I'm not too attached to the place. I'm very attached to the people. So this question always comes, what's your favorite place to go anywhere in the world? I'd say I just want to be with my parents, and whether they are here, anywhere, that makes a very happy space, a
Yes.
place for me. But I couldn't, like I said, give up. If I wanted to go back when I had come here in the transition years, it would feel like giving up, and I couldn't, and I had responsibilities
Yeah.
and stuff. So explored and learned. Most of the time I did what I was supposed to do and what people told me what to do.
Yeah.
What, because growing up, my parents had engraved that responsibility things in my head.
Of course.
Okay, you are supposed to do this. You don't have a younger brother. You're gonna be taking care of the parents. So
Yep.
that was kind of the big expectations on the shoulders, and just did all that work until I started working on my own self and healing journeys and the traumas and sexual assaults and all of those healings. And I can't believe 9 years, well, no, almost 9 years later, I'm here talking about my journey.
Yeah, that's insane. So your parents do not live here?
No, they're back home.
Oh, is it hard?
They're-
Like, no, is it hard for you to be separated?
Yes, very hard. But
Oh,
I was there in India this year, and they were here last year for 3, 4 months. Summer.
okay.
So much fun. And now that I'm kind of at a steady pace in life, I'm going to be bringing them next year here. Dad already retired. Mom's like, I just want to retire soon. I'm like, yes, you're going to come here.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
That's a huge, huge thing. I love that your family's going to come and join you on your journey because they can see you in a different light.
Yes.
This is the Navi, it's not the same Navi that left India at 19.
No, they realized that last year too. And they were shocked.
Was it a good shock?
Very good shock. Very good.
Wow.
Mom cried. So I'm getting ready. I'm just sharing an example. I was getting ready to go somewhere, and mom and dad are like, love fights and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So mom started crying all of a sudden, and I'm like, Mom, I have to go. Like, I need to go. What happened? And then I'm like, Dad, you did something. What did you say to her? You do not talk to her
Don't,
this way,
yeah.
right? Like, I'm all my mom or my dad. That's kind of that. And then mom's like crying and then said, I don't know how to ever repay the debt to you. I'm like, what are you talking about? She was meaning me taking care of them when they were here, like a child, like very kind and caring. And that's the difference from older Navi, because older Navi, like younger Navi, learned from mom, being in a different culture, how to put the pressure on children.
Yeah.
How to just be like always nagging.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
true.
saying it in a bad way.
No,
but
it is.
just,
It's a thing that parents do.
yeah, they just don't know how to keep their emotions to themselves and then still love the child.
You're
Or-
right.
So I learned that, And I was very afraid for so many years that I would become spitting image of my mom. And when I
Oh,
was in a relationship for the first time, the things worked out great because every time a glass would break, I wouldn't be like, wait. Instead, I was like, let's go shopping. Let's get another one. And there was a totally different way of reacting to things than how my mom reacted.
yeah.
And when she noticed those little things, she was very proud of me and very emotional too. And I am very proud of myself for working on all those
You should
things.
be.
It was a long journey, but here I am.
You need to write a book. You need to do a memoir. And I say that because it's a part of your healing journey. I did one and it came out January 2024 and it's called My Journey, My Success. And I talk about everything in there from 1995 right up until 2023. And it was a hard thing to write about, like a lot of stuff. It triggers you, girl. Very, 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 very emotional. But when it's done, Navi, you feel like you close that chapter of your life and you're able to really elevate yourself. So I mean, that's just an idea for you. You
Thank
may
you.
want to write it because you never know that your story is going to be somebody else's survival guide. Someone else could be a little Navi right now and they think they're alone and then they get your book and they're like, "Oh my god, she's just like she went through what I went through, but look where she's at now."
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a wonderful idea. I'll look
Oh,
into it.
don't cry, because girl, I got fake eyelashes on now. You can't do that to me. Grab your tissue.
Okay.
Grab your tissue. You can't do that to me because my eyelashes will fall off on my cheek and the viewers will think it's hilarious. But it is facts because I find that the most successful people in life, Navi, have to go through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
It's not easy, and there's so many things that play into who we are. And people think that it's like, oh, she must have came from a good home and everything was great and everything everything was given to her. Like, no wonder she's so successful. And someone like you could stop and say, well, actually, if you got a half hour, I can sit down and tell you my journey.
Yes.
And they would be like, oh, okay, my apologies. But it is an idea. Just get permission from your mom and dad first.
Sounds good.
Before you do it, I had to make sure my children were okay with me doing it because some things your children or your parents don't know. And if they have to read that in a book, it's pretty like, what the hell? So just make sure you talk to your parents, friends, family, and whatnot. You been here, we'll talk about 8 years. Your parents are about to soon come, which I'm excited because my fiance is Jamaican and I can't wait for him to be here
Oh my
also.
God.
So thank you, thank
Congratulations.
you. Um, and the whole immigration system and all that stuff, you don't understand it until you're in it. So for me, I'm really, really excited for you. Like
Absolutely.
I really am, and hopefully I get to meet your mom and
And
dad.
doesn't it feel like the biggest win?
Yeah, yeah, it is,
Yes.
and especially for you, like it is a big win for the child to be able to bring her parents. It's not like a partner or your husband to be or your wife to be. It is a child bringing her parents. So for me, I'm really proud of you, girl. I'm really
Thank
proud of
you.
you.
Thank you.
You mentioned earlier, like when you were talking about your mom, and I can see you have a close relationship with your mom. I can just tell by the way you talk about your mom. Is that your best friend?
She is. She's been the role model too, whole life.
Wow.
Yeah, I was in a conference one time and somebody asked, who has always been there for you? And I looked back at my journey. I'm like, just my mom. Just mom.
Wow.
Well, even when she's far, far away sitting and she's always rooting for me. Yep.
See, that's gonna make me like, yeah, that's an emotional thing. Because I could tell when you were talking about your mom, like you have a soft spot for her. Like no one could say nothing to my mom. I love my dad,
Yes.
love him,
Love him
but
so much.
mom, mm,
Mm-mm.
she's off. She's off limits. She's off definitely off limits. And for her, she was born in a different generation, obviously. And I bet you, if I had her here, I would ask her, Navi, you're proud of Navi. But are you proud because she's doing everything that you wanted to do, but your day and age, your culture, society wouldn't allow you? I can guarantee you she's gonna be like, yes,
Yeah, yeah. She'd say yes.
yes, because this is what I want to do, and my daughter's now accomplishing it. Oh my God, Navi, I can't wait for your parents to come. Make sure you call me and say, Tia, my
Sounds
parents are here.
good.
Come over to get some food.
Indian food.
Yes,
Yes. Yes.
you that all you gotta say is food, Indian food. I'm like, what's your address?
Yes.
What's the
We'll
address? I'm
make a
coming
date.
over.
Sounds sounds good.
Well, we're going to fast forward, so I don't want people to be like, "Oh my God, I just want to go hug Navi," because I always want to keep the podcast empowering. Because you are where you're at now. Now we're in 2024, Navi, and in 2024, you embarked on a new journey that, I mean, I say that will forever change your life. Can you tell us a bit about what that journey is?
Yes, sounds good. Finally, I can't believe I'm finally doing this in 2024. It was a plan for so many years, but I also knew that part of me needed to heal in order to
Absolutely.
do the successful things. Or I know I'd go into that deep hole of, I don't want to do it. I can't
I
do
can't do it.
it.
It's
I
not
can't.
right. It's
Yeah,
not ready.
yeah, yeah. So I am starting my own business. Well, I have launched already,
Yes.
and it's called Celebrate Your Curves. It's a
Celebrate the curves, girls.
yes,
Yes.
it's a professional clothing line
Yes.
for. It started with an idea of just doing it for women of plus size. But that was not fair. I thought to myself, I don't want to create another divides in
Yep.
the
Another.
word,
Yep.
and that's just not fair. That's not who I stand for, and that's not my values are for. So celebrate your curves is all about celebrating individualities. So whether you identify as a woman, a man, gender neutral, non-binary, we got you covered, and we are all about celebrating you and your curves or non-curves. So petite,
Everybody has a curve. I'm just saying,
yeah.
like, it's a fact. Everybody has some sort of curves. Now, mine are bigger than others, and that's okay. But if you're celebrating, I'm celebrating. We're all celebrating.
Yes, yes, that's what it's all about. So we offer professional clothing for people for petite, plus
Wow.
size, to us LGBTQIA plus community. And then we have a second line of clothing, which is adaptive clothing. So adaptive clothing is a line of clothing for individual with mobility needs, disabilities, amputation, dementia, carpal tunnel. I have carpal tunnel.
I've had carpal tunnel surgeries on both. Both. So, yes.
Yeah, so all of that, like you name it, and we'll have it. And we're currently designing. We have some designs, and we're having some products made back in India from a manufacturer to try those with dementia patients or old age houses. Yeah, and I'm trying to focus on the first one first because sometimes I get ahead of myself.
Oh, girl, that's an
jump the
entrepreneur's
gun.
brain. We do that. We jump, jump, jump. We're just excited and we're like, next idea, next idea. So what I had to learn this on my own, hard way. But what I tell people now when I'm consulting with them or if I'm facilitating a program with them is that get yourself a big whiteboard, call it your parking lot, and every idea you have in your dreams, in your nightmares, day to day, if you're driving, go home, put it on your whiteboard and put it in the parking lot. And you can work on that project from the parking lot, create your no framework, but don't do anything with it until you are ready to do something with it. So never diminish your dreams, girl. Keep
No,
keep them going because that's what keeps us, thriving and being successful and moving along.
yeah,
Um,
I absolutely love that. I just want to add another piece that
mhm.
how I do is I always put that I need to focus a little bit more. Everybody can have big dreams once things established, once a business is established. Anybody can take a rocket to another dimension, for example,
Yeah.
infinity talking in me, marvels.
Oh my God.
But you need to focus a little bit more on the starting point. So I take my time when building something because that takes extra time. Once it's launched, when it's hitting the sky, you're going to have so many ideas. You're going to grow so much. You're going to learn so much from your own experience and other experience. You're going to meet like-minded people who are going to be like, okay, let's take this rocket from this space to another space.
I'm telling you, girl, like where were you at? Like even a year ago, I had a similar conversation and I have them all the time up until now. What you just said for the listeners and the viewers, what Navi just said is absolutely true. You have to build the foundation. At that starting point, you have to take care of that baby and water it. But once that baby is watered and it's growing and it's launched and it's in the sky, you can do anything else.
Yep.
Sky is the limit, literally. But you have to really take the concentration on that baby at first.
Exactly. You're literally teaching your brain child to walk.
Literally.
Yeah. And when it's walking, you can give them the tools to do whatever
And then
they
hopefully
want to.
that whatever tools you give that piece makes other pieces and other divisions and other streams and
Yes.
all that stuff
The possibilities
are
are
endless. Especially in your industry, the possibilities are endless because you opened up you were true and intentional about accessibility. A lot of people talk about accessibility where it's just about, someone's mobility. That is not just accessibility. You went through, you're dealing with the mobility issues. People have Alzheimer's, people that may have amputations, individuals from the LGBTQ plus communities, plus size women. Like the list goes on.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of time into us LGBTQ community, anybody wanting to have a fashion trend, they'll be like rainbow colors, but that's not what it's
No,
all
it's not.
about.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
not, that's not all of it. And some of, I'd say most of the adaptive clothing lived experience come from my brother. He was on wheelchair, so I've seen a lot of time that dad would pick him up, and he was big, big fella, right?
Yeah,
And then mom would try to pick him up, and then I am pulling his pants up.
yeah.
And a lot of time, if somebody walks in, because it's a different culture in India, anybody can just walk in your home anytime. It feels shame,
Yeah, and that's not good.
and I couldn't do anything about it because I was just a child and I didn't know. But now I want to do something.
You know
about
better,
it.
so do better.
Yeah, yeah, I want to do. And then it's a shock to me that still we're in 2024 and there's still not enough emphasis on this. There's still not a, I'm gonna say a bad word, a care in the word
It's
about
true.
this still, and it just boggles my mind.
You're 100% right. It's almost like, oh, we know it exists, but it's not a problem right now. So we're
Yeah.
not going to deal with it, right? But you're taking it on like by the bullhorns and you're going to ride it out, which I love to see. I was on TikTok the other day, and of course there were trolls trolling this woman's TikTok page, and she was a plus size woman at the airport, and she had accessibility sneakers, which meant she didn't have to bend over and put them on. They were made for her just to slip her foot on, put her heel in, right? Nice little white sneakers. And when I seen that, I was like, wow, like, I've always been plus size my whole life. In the last probably, I'm gonna say 4 months, I've lost a lot of weight. But when you're at the airport, you go through security and they make you take off your shoes
Yep.
and you got your carry on and you probably got a winter jacket on. When you're plus size, to put your sneakers back on, do you know how hard that is and embarrassing people behind you?
Yep.
So when she did the video, I was like, way to go, way to go. And then, of course, there were trolls making fun of her and say, oh, you can't put sneakers on, you shouldn't be flying, and all this foolishness. But what got me was that she was able to showcase that these type of items exist. So if I ever see someone that's having trouble with putting sneakers on, I'm going to be like, yo, follow this girl on TikTok.
Yep.
And the same thing with you. Follow Navi. Go to her website because she has these type of items. And you spoke earlier about having carpal tunnel, which is a very debilitating issue. I have surgery on both hands. Then I end up getting rheumatoid arthritis in my thumbs. So now my thumbs are just metal rods, like there's no bone in there. And do you know how hard it is to put a button up blazer on? Like people don't realize it because my nails are always done. There's like, oh, T, it's just whatever. No, to put a button up blazer on, it's so hard in the morning. I usually have to get one of my daughters to help me if they're there. Like just button up the blazer right quick. And they take it for granted and they'll laugh sometimes. They'll be like, Mom, is your hands acting up? And I'm like, no, they're not acting up. I just can't freaking bend my thumbs.
Yeah.
So these little things, you're absolutely doing something about, and we need it. So it's
Thank
not
you.
just me being plus size, wanting your blazer you got on today, because those buttons are actually big.
Yes, they are. And
So that's a difference.
we also have some, so we have some other materials as well. So we can use buttons just for show off and then Velcro inside. So you just,
Okay, that would be perfect.
we'll get that done.
That would be everything. I can just go poop and I'm done.
Perfect.
Because I love those buttons and they're not small and they're not like thick. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't have, it would probably wouldn't be that hard for me to slide them through. But if I could just have the show and oh, hold on, you got a liner, that liner. Oh my goodness, Navi, you're killing me. You're killing me right now. This blazer, you guys, is from her line. Look at that.
And the pockets
Like
inside.
it's everything. And I noticed it when she came in. I was like, "Oh, your blazer matches my skirt." My staff was like, "I love your blazer," but we didn't know over in that room that
Yeah.
it was your line. So when we go back to the other room, I'm going to tell them, guys, this is her
Sounds
line.
good.
So let's jump into your line. Like I was on your website last night, and it seamlessly looks good.
Thank you.
It's very, very, excuse me, well diverse. I liked it a lot, and the pieces are me. Like not because I'm plus size, but like the fashion, the colors, the textures. And I was looking, I was like, and I love how you have a lot of both, like there's a lot of your face there too. Um,
For now.
yeah, I did like that. I was like, look at Navi, look at her. Like I loved it. I loved it. But for me, in the professional world, we need stuff like this that's affordable. I know I go to Torrid, and you've probably been at Torrid before too, where we're paying $129 for a blazer. $90 for a pair of pants. Like, you know what I mean? And it's not even going to cost Torrid to do that. So if I'm going to spend that type of money, affordable or not, I'd rather do it local.
Yes.
And then a woman of color. So I have a way I do things. So I'm excited that I met you. I'm excited that you're doing this. And for me to see another woman who's in Nova Scotia, who has been through, a journey, who is a woman of color, and who has now a clothing line, and whatever else is going to come from Navi in the next few months to a year. But I do have a question when it comes to, your marketing and branding. What goes into that, Navi, for you? Because you're right across the board, so there has to be a lot of elements.
Yes. We're still working on a lot of things, and I'm the one woman team for
Still?
now. Yeah, we have
Ooh.
just two volunteers signed up. They're going to take a lead on social media marketing and stuff. And we have
Mm-hmm.
a new, you mentioned that there is a lot of my face on the website, and
I
it's
love
because,
that though. I do.
yes, but sometimes it feels a little bit not fair,
Yeah.
only because I want to be as diverse and
Yeah.
as possible, right? It's not just about me. It's yes, it came from personal experience, but it's also about making everybody feel confident the way I feel in these pieces. So we have our photo shoot scheduled for September 8th. We're inviting all the volunteers,
Oh my
inviting
God.
everybody.
Yay.
Yep. We have a couple pieces that just arrived from India, then they're really nice. And like this is plain, they have a lot of work on it and it's so good.
Really?
Yes. And then we have a new fall collection that's coming, which is we're gonna take a lot of pictures for that and make some reels for social media, and then we're gonna advertise it. One more thing that I wanted to mention about branding and inclusivity for my website is that it looks okay for now, but there is a bigger element that I
Mm-hmm.
am all about, and I'm very, very excited about it. So a couple weeks ago in July, actually in July, I worked with Dalhousie Women in Tech at here
Oh
at
wow.
Julie
Yeah. Yeah.
Carter Center um, to develop a tool which is online measuring tool, and we worked on a prototype. It's an image AI processing
Oh
prototype
God.
that you can,
Really?
yep, that you can take a picture. You can stand in front. That's kind of the goal, and it takes the measurements for you. That's inclusive. It's gender neutral. Inclusivity is the big goal for me.
Yeah.
I cannot just like we can do things the way that we have been doing traditionally, which is taking measurements, but it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
work anymore. I want everybody to be able to have that use the technology. So
Yeah.
we're working on collaborating with my techs, and then we're working on with an intern and a professor to bring that tool and then have it integrated into our website. So anybody who wants to go on our website, take a picture. You don't know your
Okay.
measurements. Oh, I forgot another thing. We
I
are
love
a
it.
made to measure concept. So we only make clothes for custom.
Oh, I love that.
We don't
I'm a
have any.
custom girl. Like
Yes.
yes, literally. And I know I sell a lot of items. I do a lot of sales out of my home or my closet a lot because I have a lot of clothes, and I usually don't wear what I have on this summer. I won't wear next summer. But it's hard for me to sell my custom pieces. But I love custom pieces are made for me. I get pieces made from Meech Nat Fashions, from DB Pearls, from Overfrick. Like I am big on having something made for me, but it's hard to sell it because
Yes.
it's hard that someone has measurements like me. But
Yeah.
I love it. I didn't know you did that either.
Yes, we do custom measurements. We're not the wholesale concept of just getting anything societal. If I wanted to set for societal size, like size charts, I would
Them
have
size
done.
charts are BS. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah,
I can't wait for your AI component
yes,
because I had a conversation with a lady who graduated from my 16-week startup, and she has an online boutique. And I said to her, "You need to start, educating yourself on AI. You need to start looking at what AI is doing for the fashion and apparel industry."
yep,
And she was like, okay. And this was probably week 10. And by week 16, she started researching and she was like, Tia, I can take my business to another level. And I said, you need to really figure out how you can get grants or how you can partner to do that because online shopping is the worst because we don't know if it's going to fit us. We buy it, then we have to pay more money to ship it back if it doesn't fit or whatever it is. But if I can just take a picture of me and upload it to your website, and it's going to tell me what my size is for my bust, my hips, my waist, and my little pooch in my belly, my thighs. That's a whole vibe.
Yes, and this one that we're working on, it's going to be inclusive of not just the bodies, but if you're on a wheelchair, you're
Same,
sitting,
yeah.
take a picture, it will measure it. I'm very excited.
Bravo,
Thank
bravo.
you.
When did this happen?
We just did a prototype in July, which
Did you not announce that? Because I'm on your LinkedIn and I didn't see nothing.
we just did just a prototype, and
Mm-hmm.
because the college, the tech team at Dell holds the
Yeah,
products that the prototypes, we couldn't really announce it.
I know, but like,
But I know, but I'm working with my techs and because it's a grant program, I'm gonna be the one owning the prototypes.
you guys hear that? You guys hear this? Okay, yes,
Yeah,
I'm excited. I'm excited for that.
yeah. So it's gonna be super fun, and it usually takes your height and then picture of you if you want front or back measurement, front and back pictures, and then it will take you your okay, left arm is this tall or this measurement, and right arm, let's say I have amputations
Yeah.
in arm.
Or you have a shorter arm.
Yeah,
It's a genetic thing.
yep.
I actually just went, and I know she's gonna be like, "Girl, like it's my business," but I just dropped off a bag of clothes to DB Pearls yesterday because the blazers were fitting, but the arms were baggy and it was loose and it was too long. And she does my alterations.
That's awesome. I know DV.
Yeah. So I mean, blessing. Yeah, I'm not. I'm still gonna keep coming to you, girl, for alterations. But it would be helpful if I didn't have to do that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like this is my custom piece for
You need to
my
stop. You need to stop with this blazer because I'm telling you, she's gonna leave here blazerless,
Blazerless.
blazerless. No, it's great. I'm so excited for you. I didn't know that you came that far, and we're into September basically,
Yes,
and you started in 2024.
May
May.
2024.
Girl, do you know? Do you see like the growth, the growth? And I have to ask, if you don't mind me asking, do you work full time
I do.
and plus this?
Yes, and then board of directors within 2 organizations, 2 mentorship programs. A lot is going on.
I was going to ask you too before you left if you want to be a mentor through BWIE because we're looking for new mentors. And our mentors, we want to have women of color. We want to have, Caucasian women. We want to have Asian women. We want it to be, diverse, even though our organization celebrates, educates, and encourages Black women to be entrepreneurs. We still need other women to be a part of it.
Come in.
Inclusive. Like, we still need you to do that. I didn't know you were doing all that stuff.
Yeah, the connector program with Halifax Partnership. I'm a connector there. Nova, third-year mentor.
Jesus.
And then board of directors for IONS, board of directors for BFAS, Building Futures.
Yeah.
I recently just resigned from there because I was getting a lot on my plate. But yeah.
Oh my goodness. Are you in a relationship?
Nope.
I was gonna say because you can't. That would be. Trust me. I love my man. I love my fiance. And I know how difficult it is to manage everything that I have going on,
Yep.
and then adding to a relationship with it. So that's why I had to ask: are you in a relationship too? Because when do you sleep? That's why I would have to ask. When do you sleep? I tell people I'll sleep when I'm dead. Right now, I got too many ambitions and too many goals to
Yes.
give up.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I equal that.
I'm going to want to know. I know listeners are going to want to know. What are the long-term goals for Celebrate Your Curves? Are you going to be doing workshops and okay, go ahead. Well, what are your long-term goals?
My long-term goal is to build a community that celebrates themselves because I often say that we celebrate others, but it's hard to celebrate yourself. I myself am not at that stage to celebrating
Okay, come
actually.
hang with me.
So,
I'll get you there.
so I think my long-term goal is to build a community
Yeah.
that celebrates themselves and then hoping to have a manufacturer right here, which means employ, who knows, celebrate your curves community might be a non-for-profit in futures, and we will have um, employ local tailors
Really?
or tailor from BIPOC communities and stuff, and then have the adaptive clothing line to be available to everybody for free. But I can't say anything just yet.
Okay. Well,
But that's a goal.
you see, I was trying to get it out of her, you guys, and she didn't fall for it. I was trying to be the first one with the T. Jeez, Navi, jeez. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the line, and I would love to see it be, on the ground here. But I do love that your pieces are coming from India, like that. Um,
Yeah, that is a big significant too. It's my aunties actually that I grew up with. It's in my little town.
really?
It's a very small town. It's not like it's a very small town. And then all of my aunties that they saw me grow up, not the other way around. They work there, so I'm helping them find employment, and it's just so
I
fulfilling.
love it.
So fulfilling. I didn't even know I would do that for my own community
You will,
that
yeah.
I'm
You
coming
don't. You
from.
never know the impact. You
Yeah.
never know, and the growth for them too.
Yeah.
I got
And
fake
their
eyelashes on.
and their little girls are gonna be so
They're
proud of
looking at their mummies,
themselves.
like
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And the fact that, like, regardless if it's closed or it wasn't closed, the mission, your values, and your vision for celebrate your curves is something that little girls, little boys, non-binary need to hear.
Yeah.
It always needs to be a conversation. And sometimes in different countries or different cultures, it's not talked about. So I'm glad
Yeah.
that little Navi is going to be like putting her foot in it and annoying people that are not ready for it. But she's going to make sure she's celebrating everybody. And going into 2025, girl, you're going to
Yes.
start celebrating yourself
Yes, I will be.
because you look great. You're well spoken. You're well educated, and the mission you're on is something that is well needed, not just for everybody else, but you need to go through the mission too.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm here for it. So if you want to hang out with me, I can turn your whole mind to celebrating yourself
Sounds
on a
good.
regular because it is true. And I was in the same boat you were in, where I was always caring for others more than I cared for myself and my well being. I would always celebrate people and shout them out on social media and repost and
Yeah.
tag them and everything. And I think it was because I was raised by my grandmother in the black community. And you never were a show off. You had to be humble as a black woman. You don't be boastful because no one's going to want to play with you. So you get stuck in your mind that if I celebrate myself, that I'm being a show off or I'm being boastful and no one will like me. And then the minute it went tick tick, girl, you need to celebrate yourself because if you don't celebrate yourself, who's really going to do it? And now my little wins, I will celebrate. My big wins, I will celebrate. But I realize those little wins end up to be big ones in the long run.
I started making a list of the small wins since I heard you last time mentioning it. Um, and I just wanted to mention that for me, people know, like everybody who knows me personally, they know
Mm-hmm.
that I'm very hard on myself, that I don't give myself a break. And and then now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm realizing that's the reason that I have hard time celebrating myself because I don't feel that yet.
Good enough?
Yeah.
But you are. You're better than you were yesterday. So you are good enough. That's a win. You have to celebrate every step because just imagine if you did not start to celebrate your curves in May 2024 and then you go next year for May 2025. If you didn't start it this year, you wouldn't next year where you're going to be is amazing, right? So as long as you're doing better and you know better than you did the day before, you are worthy. You're good enough. You're going to make it. You're going to be successful and you're going to be out here knocking down. They talk about glass ceilings. You're going to be kicking down doors. You're going
Thank
to be
you.
kicking down doors. I'm going to be right behind you saying, like, she did it, you guys. Like, this person has been through a lot. And if she can do it, there's no excuse for a lot of other people, Navi.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, it's so true. Girl, I told you about these tears. I got eyelashes on, girl. You can't do it. You can't
Okay.
do it.
Um, okay. And you mentioned about the culture back home. It's I want to mention that not just about employment. It like I do mention that it's they are the one that working on those pieces, each and every piece they work on, employment piece, but also cultural part that women were also very different culture.
Yeah.
You're just there to be,
A pretty wife.
yeah, serve the needs of men, and
Yeah.
that's not how it's working. We're also making that change back home. Like, you know what? If I was not able to get out of this relationship because you were abusive, because I didn't have anybody else to go to, I'm earning now.
Yeah, I'm
I can
earning.
take care of my kids.
Yes.
I can give them good education. I can make them capable. Now, whatever that may
Absolutely.
mean for them, right? Everybody else has their own story. Whatever they mean is the best that they can do. So that's kind of another piece that makes me very
That's a
happy.
big piece.
Yes, big piece.
That is a big piece. That is a huge piece because you don't know, again, Navi, you don't know what you're bringing to the table, girl. You don't know what you're changing. It's a ripple effect. And, those wives, they could be in a great relationship. They could be like, in the best relationship. Doesn't mean they want to be at home taking care of their husbands all day.
Yeah.
We want to have our own money, our own bank
Yes.
accounts.
Yes.
We don't want to sneak to do it. We want our daughters to know, in 2024, if you want to work, you can go to work.
Go ahead. Yep.
Your husband's going to be okay.
Yep.
If he has to cook supper once or twice a week because you're working, he's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And you still love him and you still respect him. It doesn't take away from anything. So you are doing the ripple effect. I'm telling you, wait till 2025 May when you have your 1 year anniversary. And I want you to step back and, go through the process of the gratitude process of where you started. You will cry a lot.
I always
Your
cry.
1 year anniversary, you're going to go through the emotions. And I'm telling you today, like, you are going to be okay.
Thank you.
You're going to be okay.
It means so much. Thank
Oh
you.
my goodness, girl. So what advice would you give another woman or non-binary? Well, if someone came to you and like, I just want better for myself. I want to do something different. I don't know if my parents would be okay with it. I don't know if I got support. What would you say to them?
I think one thing that I can say from my own experience is not give up.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't just mean, oh, don't give up, keep pushing. It means there are gonna be days when you're gonna be like,
Screw this.
fuck everything. I'm
Literally.
sorry.
No, that's how, girl, I do it all the time.
He's like,
Literally, you will.
yeah, there are gonna be people who are gonna be holding your neck and be like, stop this. This is not gonna work out. Don't give up. Keep going. The day you feel like you're dead in your bed, don't give up.
No.
Keep going. The day you have imposter syndrome, it's going to be super hard
It is.
for your own self to be your own inspiration and motivation. Don't give up. Just keep going. Don't look back. Just look at that little girl in you. Look at that little girl who just wanted a chance to do whatever she wanted to do and not be left in a corner by herself, neglected, not safe.
Perfectly said, yeah.
Yeah, just for her. Just do it for her, him, or them.
Them. I was going to say her, him, or them.
Them. Yeah, do it for them.
I love
Because
it.
at the end of the day, you owe that to yourself. And there are going to be so many days when you don't feel like
Girl, let me
you're
tell
enough.
you, Navi, there's so many days. So many days. And I think people, have this persona that people who are successful have great days every day. Fuck, we don't.
No, we don't.
We don't. There are so many days. Like, I just want to say, screw this. I'm not doing this no more. I'm not doing Black Women in Excellence. I'm shutting down Femme Noir. I'm not doing It Is Tia Upshaw brand. Like, there's no way this is going to work. Because there's people that will tell you no, right? And there's people that are not going to support you, but you have to find your tribe.
Yep.
And keep your tribe tight in your circle of who wants to see you genuinely win. But just never, like you said, don't stop. Don't not give up.
Yeah, and before you even get to building your own tribe, it's really hard. It's really hard to build
It
your
took me
own.
10 years.
Yeah.
10 years to figure out who was in my circle for the good.
I have very few people, and I've been 9 years here. Right?
See?
So very few people, very few of those connections. So even before you get to build your own tribe, just look at your little self. You're doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned that if somebody's parents don't want it, you don't have to tell them. They don't need to know everything.
That's
One thing
true.
I learned is away from my culture, nobody has to know every single thing of your life except you.
Mm, I
You
like
do
that.
not have
I
to
like
tell
that.
everybody what you're doing, what you want to do, because people have different views. They're
Yeah.
either going to stop you or they're going to give their own suggestions. And if you, perfect example. Perfect example goes by me asking a friend who is single for dating relationship advice. They're not at the point.
Yeah.
What's the point of me asking them?
Asking.
Same with the building business, same with building yourself, same with healing yourself or the healing journey. You cannot ask people
Who
for their
didn't go through it?
input
Yeah.
or suggestions if they are not even at where you are.
Yeah.
And I think everybody can tell.
You absolutely.
They're, yeah,
I, how can I put it? My mission in the last couple of years, I'll say 3, 4 years, has always been to surround myself with people who've been through what I've been through or who are smarter and better than me and more successful than me. And it doesn't mean that anybody who's not is not worthy. Still love you, got
yep,
respect for you, like whatever. But for me to be the best that I want to be and accomplish all my goals, I have to be around people who are better than me and more successful so I can obtain what they got. Their knowledge that they are going to give to me, I'm going to eat it all up. So I can get to that level. And therefore, I'm able to turn around to someone who's coming up behind me and bring them along because I just learned from this
yes.
person. It's a ripple effect, right? And you
Yeah,
want that to happen.
and those who look up to you.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it's a tribe. It's not the no, no, no. You have to explain every single thing you're
No.
doing. No, I don't do. I do not owe any explanation to anybody because I'm doing this thing for myself,
And
and
you're
I
an
know,
adult. Yeah.
and I know that I'm doing it from the goodness of my heart, and
Absolutely.
I know how true and authentic I am to whatever I'm doing. So I don't think I need to explain
I
it
love that.
to anybody. And then, like, this is something that I've learned a long time ago at very young age that society doesn't do anything for you.
They don't care. Like,
No.
honestly, and I say this to a lot of my 16-week startup participants, and I say it in all due respect. People generally don't care. They don't care if you are tired. They don't care if you're sick. They don't care if you had a bad day. They don't care if your husband or your wife cheats on you. They don't care. So you have to figure out how you can mitigate that. You have to really deal with all the issues that are going on and still show up in business because society does not care.
Nobody cares. Nobody has enough time in the world. And also, it attaches to the healing journey too. No matter what people did to you, it's your responsibility.
Oh, absolutely. How you
So,
react. Yeah,
so
I
like,
agree.
even if somebody says no, it's you owe that to yourself. It's my responsibility
Absolutely.
to at least give it a try. I don't care if I make a gazillion
Mm-mm-mm.
dollars, but I'm going to give it a try.
I
Let's see how
love
many
that.
people has the same mission or your heart aligns with the mission,
So true.
right?
Oh my goodness.
I don't think I'm the only one who had a brother who was handicapped.
No.
No. Probably the first one to speak about it.
That's why I said probably the first one to speak publicly about it. And that's why I said you need to write a book because your journey is going to be someone else's survival guide. As soon as you open up that Pandora box, people are going to be like, oh my God, I can talk about it now too then. She did it. I can talk about it. You just never know. Like you said, you're not the first person with a brother that was handicapped, but you're the first person that openly shares about it.
And then the grief too.
Absolutely. That comes with it. And people, there's actually, I don't have a relationship with my mother. It's funny you said grief. And she's not passed away or anything. We don't connect. We don't mix. There's a lot of toxicity between us. And, I always say that is grievance. You still have grief when you don't have a relationship with individuals. It doesn't mean they're dead or they're gone, but the relationship's done.
Yep.
And you have to grieve that too. So, I mean, I know it's deeper for you having a brother and going through that stuff. But that grief could just eat you alive, but you didn't let it.
I actually do understand. It's not just about my brother, but somebody asked me a while back that how did you and your family came to this point? Like if you see the pictures of my parents, were very loving and close, and a lot of my friends, close friends, had experienced to meet them, and they're just like, my parents are very loving and crazy, very sweet.
You say
Like
crazy?
crazy in
I
a
love
way.
it.
It's like fun. Like there's
Yeah.
no tomorrow. Like mom wants to dance outside at a park, dance.
Yeah.
Very chill and bubbly. That's kind of what I mean by crazy. And then people would always, like, some close friend would ask me, how did this happen? Like, how do you have such a relationship? It wasn't always like this.
Yeah.
I hated them for so long.
You have to put work in.
I put my work, but I also made sure they put work in too.
Yep.
There was a point where I was like, you know what? You make your own choices, and I'm gonna give myself some space from you.
And vice versa.
And I am super tired. And unless you are willing to put some work into it, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm tired. And they did. They did put
Well,
work in.
and that's the best part. Your parents see the value. They were like, you know what? We did wrong. They took accountability. We need to put in work. Some parents will not. I didn't do nothing wrong.
And that's what I'm coming to. It's not your job.
Yeah.
If they, you can, another thing about the healing journey that I've learned is you can only push somebody, or you can only help somebody to a point. You cannot do it for them.
That's so true.
You can be their guide. I can help you, but you have to feel your own emotions all the way. You have to forgive yourself for the things you did. I have to forgive myself for the things I did to my daughter.
We've all had our hand in something, and we're not all innocent when it comes to relationships. It takes a party. It's not one person, it's both people. But it also takes both people to come to the table and say we're both wrong. What can we do to move forward? Yep. It can't take one. It doesn't work. You'll just be hitting your head against the wall and feeling defeated and more angrier and more, sad, and it's just messy.
It's a circle, and you keep coming back to it.
And it's not healthy. That could actually eat you right up. And I just tell people, like, I don't have a relationship with my mother. Don't hate her, love her from a distance. But it's okay where we're at. Like, I'm okay.
And that's okay.
And I have to take care of myself because I'm a mom.
Yep.
I can't keep going to my mother and expecting something and draining myself from my children as their mother. It's not fair.
Yep.
No, so I don't do it. Any last
words? For you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
Any last words that you would like to share? We're almost to the end of our segment. That you want to share with our listeners about yourself, your brand, your vision for the future, anything you want to say?
I just want to say that I'm not really here to sell any of the products or anything. I'm just here to share who I am.
Yeah.
And what am I doing and why am I doing it? Because a lot of time we do things and we never discover the why or the root causes for something. So if you feel like, if all the listeners, the mission aligns with you, let's connect. Yeah. Let's build a community.
They will. I can guarantee you, because I'm thinking, as we're talking, I'm thinking about our whole conversation, and they're not going to once think that this is about selling her products or anything. They're going to be like, this is a person that I need to connect with because she has a story. And I want to connect with Navi. I can guarantee you that. And for you guys, I obviously will put up Navi's email and her LinkedIn, all that stuff in the podcast information on YouTube and Spotify. So it's not going to be hard to get a hold of you because you're out there now. I met you once, and now I see you all the time on social media. I'm like, it took one time to meet this lady in person, and now she's just like popping up everywhere. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm grateful.
I loved having you here today, Navi. Hope I can get you back on in a year's time, right before you celebrate your 1-year anniversary. And I'll let you watch this one after we record next year's one and see the difference in you, because the growth is going to be real, girl. Anyways, you guys, we are at the end of this segment. And if you love what you listened to today or what you've seen, and if it impacted you, make sure you follow us on social media, on YouTube, Spotify, subscribe to our pages, and tune in every single Friday at 12 p.m. Until next time, guys, thank you. And it's your girl, Tia Upshaw, and my guest, Navi. And we'll see you guys later.